FizzFam Conversations. Our opinions, their stories. Champagne Gang, FizzFam, and visitors. Welcome to FizzFam Conversations. Our opinions, their stories. And today, baby, we're covering this story that is going viral on social media. Because, baby, the boys are fighting. Yes, Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump, your sitting president of the United States of these Americas, are having a whole Twitter war. Now, here's my question, right? How many of y'all really thought this alliance was really going to work out? See, that's my question, right? Because I told y'all before, see, some of y'all knew. Y'all ain't been around Champagne City for a while. But I told y'all when we were doing our Trump Watch 2024 prior to the election, that Trump is the wild card. He always has been, because Trump is going to do what he wants to do. Trump is going to say what he wants to say.
I say what the fuck I want to say, blood. Paru. I say what I want to say. 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 Orlando. The fuck?
I know, relax.
What the fuck?
He don't care about you. He don't care about your opinion. He don't care about Elon Musk's opinion. He don't care about Congress' opinion. He don't care about the Senate's opinion. The only opinion that matters to Trump is Trump's opinion. Didn't he learn that when Trump started trying to fire all of the government officials that didn't agree with his way of thought, his Trumpism ideology? What make Elon thinks that he's any different? Please help me understand this. I knew this was destined for failure, but no. Trump had him paraded in the White House like he was the number 2 in command. To be honest with you, I'm starting to think the way that Trump had Elon Musk standing beside that resolute desk consistently in the Oval Office, that maybe Elon Musk was the vice president and J.D. Vance is just for show. He just a showpiece. He just a centerpiece that you bring out to parade in front of the people to make it look like your dining room table looks good. Because you know, the U.S. has to have a president and a vice president. So let's just throw J.D. Vance in there. But my number 2 is really going to be Elon Musk, because he got the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money!
Elon did, and he got number 2. But baby, there has been a falling out in the kingdom, baby, and they are going at it on Twitter. Baby, they tweet, and we call it tweeting still, or do we call it Xing? Because, you know, Elon did change the name. But baby, they going at it. Cat claws are out, or should I say, the swords are out. Anywho, we getting ready to get into it, baby, because if you have not seen these tweets, baby, you need to. So, let's get into these tweets and this beef between our current sitting president and his number 2. All right? So, y'all, I happen to be on YouTube earlier on today, and I happened to hear somebody talking about Elon and Trump going at it on Twitter, so I had to go take a look-see for myself. And baby, when I tell you the tea is teaing, baby, or should I say better yet, the champagne bottles are fizzing. Baby, the cap has been poppeth and the champagne is spilleth over. Baby, because do you see this bomb that Elon has dropped on the social of the media, formerly known as Twitter? Baby, Elon came out and said, basically, DJ, since you want to play, how about this? Time to drop the really big bomb. That real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. Y'all know Epstein, the one that had the island, you know, the one that was Diddy before Diddy was Diddy. They had the case before Diddy case. That one, where the people used to go to the private island for some underage attention. Yeah, that Epstein. And he said that is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJ T. So basically, Elon said, I'm going to put a name on it. I ain't scared. I'm standing 10 toes down on it. What you going to do about it? Y'all, but it didn't stop there. He went on to say, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Now, here's my question. Either Elon is extremely crazy or Elon really has some tea that they don't want to hear come out. Elon better get some protection from them South Africans that they call themselves sending over to take over these farms and to become U.S. citizens. The way he talking against a sitting president who has immunity with anything that he decides to do. He can just come out and say it's in the interest of national security. Elon better be cool. He better be cool. This is a different world from where we came from, baby. This is totally new. You can't be just out here throwing stuff all willy-nilly on a man with 32 felonies that can't get convicted for him and can't get convicted of anything he does while he in office. Baby, come on, Elon, play cool. But Elon chose not to play cool. Donald Trump fired back. Like Elon Musk, right? He basically said he was a kid having a temper tantrum because he took his rights away. So Trump's response was Elon was wearing thin, basically saying this was too much for him. So I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. Don't nobody want no Tesla? Y'all see the way these things crashing because people don't know how to use the autopilot? Why I want to be in a robot that can potentially crash whenever it feels like it because it's having malfunctions? Right? No. Are y'all for the Tesla car? Will y'all be getting the new smart car? And they're not cute. There's nothing about a Tesla that's appealing at all. Especially the new Tesla truck. They're not cute at all. It's just the name that people are paying for because it's Tesla and because it's Elon and because it's supposed to be the new big thing. Everybody wants to go and get it. No, I'll be good. Just God bless me with my Buick Enclave. That's all I want. Y'all can keep the Teslas. Just give me a Buick Enclave. That's all I want the Lord to bless me with. But he basically said that Elon just went crazy because his rights were revoked. But it didn't stop there. Elon said such an obvious lie, so sad. Eric Berger said this will both end the International Space Station and simultaneously provide no way to safely deorbit it. So Elon says this just gets better and better. When you give it a person so much power over stuff, you got to stop and think about what happens if this relationship goes bad. That's the same thing that happens in y'all relationships with y'all BDs, with y'all boyfriends, with people who y'all think that y'all gonna have this long lasting forever with, that you gonna spend a couple of forevers with. See, you don't stop and think, if I put all of this in this individual's hand and this goes bad, what happens when it goes bad? Can I just walk away with my stuff, or is it going to be a fight? Am I going to have to take a loss if I walk away from this? See, these are the things we don't stop to think about when we make irrational, impulsive decisions. Right? But it didn't stop there. Elon goes on to say, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. So that was in response to Donald Trump saying the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So now you want to throw your decision to make Elon basically your number two You want to blame it on Biden because he didn't get rid of Elon when he had the chance. Yet you paraded this man around in the Oval Office and next to the Resolute desk with his son in the Oval Office, speaking on your behalf, and you want to come out and say you're surprised Biden didn't do it when you also gave him the leeway. Y'all know who he makes me think of? Elon makes me think of
rogue. You freelance, Tallis. You're damn right I freelance. There's a big old mess, and hell, if anyone else is gonna clean it up. Now, we can sit here all night twisting my nipples over something I did to protect you ingrates, or we can address the fact that if David Rosen finds the connection between Citron and Doyle Energy, every one of us here is about 3 goose eggs shy of spending the rest of their lives in prison. Am I making myself clear? We still have a David Rosen problem.
On Scandal. You know, the crazy one that helped the president get into office, but wanted to run out of the country after the president got into office? Yeah. That's who Elon makes me think of. Y'all, this just sounds like one big episode of Scandal to me. Like, this should be an episode of As the World Turns. These are the days of our lives, baby. It's no longer the young and the restless, baby. It's the old and the tired. Because at some point, they should be too old and too tired for this. I regret almost the fact that politicians are allowed to post on social media because they clearly have no PA. They don't have no public assistant to tell them what they should post and what they shouldn't post, because they clearly out here basically, I say what I want to say with their whole chest and don't give a damn how it makes them look after the post has been sent. You can't make this stuff up. I told y'all before I should start a segment on the channel called You Can't Make This Up, because this world that we currently live in, the United States of these Americas that we currently reside in, baby, is a joke. It's comedy. It really is. But I didn't stop there. Elon says he retweets or re-X's the relationship between Trump and Epstein is well established. Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 7 times, though it's not clear he ever went to the island. Here's what Trump said about Epstein in 2002 New York Magazine profile. So it says, Epstein likes to tell people that he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or drugs, and one whose nightlife is far from energetic. And yet, if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years. 15. Terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone, right? He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. Now, this is something that your sitting president said. Remember, this is the same one who said that if you have money, you should be able to walk up to a woman and grab her by a coochie without any consequence.
I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa. I did try and fuck her. She was married.
That's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
Remember that? So I don't know why we're shocked, right? No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life, right? So that means that it sounds like Trump has partied with Epstein's more than a few times. So then Elon doubles down on his statement about Trump being in the Epstein files, right? So let's check out this video that he retweeted.
president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings on your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein, more than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president said,
What you think about them? Their apples. But let's continue. Let me see. Do I have anything that I wanted to show you from this Twitter beef? So this person says, I hate that this needs to be clarified, but no, Elon did not criticize Trump personally first. Trump criticized Elon first. Elon criticized Trump's bill first. Trump commented on Elon around June 5th, 12:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time during a press conference. So we're going to get into that. But first, we need to get into this whole thing with Elon's black eye. So, the people are commenting on the fact that Elon has popped up with a black eye. But the problem is not necessarily that he got a black eye, because people get black eyes. But it's the problem that we seem to see this more and more with celebrities, with politicians, and with spiritual leaders, because we saw it with the Pope as well, that out of the clear blue, you see them randomly pop up with a black eye, always the left eye. So these are some pictures of the black eyes that we are talking about, that we consistently see popping up, that no one seems to be able to explain. Well, there's some people out there who have some theories about this black eye and what the black eye could potentially mean. Let's check this out.
Might have seen the photos, powerful people, all with one thing in common: a black eye, always on the same side, always unexplained. They call it the Black Eye Club, but no one will admit it exists. It's been spotted on popes, world leaders, celebrities, even royalty. Some say it's nothing, just bad luck, accidents, surgery. But here's where it gets strange. These black eyes often appear just before or after major political moves. Elections, public shifts, scandals. Some believe it's part of a secret initiation, a ritual used by hidden elites to show loyalty. Others say it's symbolic punishment for stepping out of line. Theories range from the occult to Freemasonry to deeper, darker control networks. And while there's no proof, no one explaining the pattern, the photos keep surfacing, more names get added. Coincidence? Or a message we're not supposed to understand? Follow if you like stories that make you look twice.
Oh no, y'all. This sounds like something I might need to cover on our newest channel, Champagne Mystique. Baby, where we cover all things mysterious, unexplained, and paranormal. So make sure you subscribe over there so that when we start dropping our paranormal, our mysterious, our mystical videos, baby, you'll be the first to be notified. And over there, you're known as the Mystics. So once you subscribe, make sure you drop a hashtag Mystic in the chat to let me know you're there. Alright? Now, with everything that's been going on, Trump did speak at a press conference. Let's check out what he has to say about this whole feud between him and Elon Musk.
Done a great job. Elon knew that. Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually went up and campaigned for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway. I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office, and he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this one. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting.
Be taking shots. Trump be taking shots, y'all, but he be doing it so on the sly. Trump is literally the king of unbothered. You can say what you want to say about Trump. He gonna respond, but he gonna respond with the most callous, unbothered attitude. Now, although I don't care for a lot of Trump policies, there are things about Trump that I really like, which is his unfilteredness, his ability to speak his mind. See, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. You almost can't get mad at Trump, right? You almost can't. Do you know why? Because Trump told you what he was going to do before he got in office. He did, yeah. Somehow y'all thought that he was going to do something different. How do you get mad at a person for getting in office and doing exactly what they said they were going to do? Now, he's thrown some wild card things in there like Elon Musk, because Trump is the wild card, baby. He do what he want to do.
I say what the fuck I want to say, blood. Paru, I say what I want to say. 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 I say what I want to say.
Orlando.
The fuck?
I know, relax.
What the fuck?
That's what we be missing, and that's what we don't like. You voted someone in the office who's not going to move based on your opinion, your wants, needs, or desires. He's going to move based on what he sees fit, what he thinks is best for the nation. This is what y'all asked for. You didn't ask for a politician who was going to give Rome back to the people.
I will empower you to one end alone, to give power back to the people of Rome and end the corruption that has crippled it.
Y'all didn't vote for a man who was going to do that. Y'all voted for a man that was going to push his agenda because he feels like his agenda will make America great. Now, what completely this agenda entails, I don't think we've seen the half of what Trump plans to do. I don't. I think this is only the beginning. Strap up your boots and hunker down, baby, because I feel like we are in a hell of a ride. And we are barely in year one of the presidency, baby. We got 3.5 more to go. What do you think he could accomplish in 3.5 years? Think about it.
And very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if it will anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best thing. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill.
And it looks like the honeymoon is over and we are already into divorce proceedings. This is Trump going after Musk now that Elon's decided to publicly oppose his spending bill that would serve as Trump's signature legislative achievement. Why? Because Republicans included some anti-EV provisions in the bill and Musk didn't like that. And so he went scorched earth against it, tweeting stuff like, "Call your senator, call your congressman, bankrupting America is not okay, kill the bill." And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Donald Trump, but he isn't exactly one to allow someone to attack without punching back. Hence the public dress down in the Oval Office, with Trump saying how disappointed he is in Elon and suggesting that he would have won Pennsylvania even without Elon's cash infusion, which prompted this response from Musk. "Without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate." And then he followed up with, "Such ingratitude."
So he basically saying the only reason Trump won was because of him and his money. That's basically, y'all, the claws are out. Baby, and Elon did not come to play. Baby, he upset. He big mad.
You wanna argue?
Trump has ruffled all of his feathers and he said the gloves are off. The gloves are off. This means war. Twitter war, social media war, exposure war. See, this is what happens, right? On Mad Day. See, y'all don't know how to handle Mad Day. Y'all really don't. Y'all don't know how to handle Mad Day because the minute y'all get mad, y'all know what y'all do? Y'all run to social media and start snitching and spilling all the tea on the person that you mad at. See, this is why people don't have friends. This is why they don't really have confidants anymore, right? Because I befriend you, tell you all my business. Then the minute you get upset with me, then you want to put all my business on social media. Well, didn't you know my business before Mad Day came? If it was such a problem, why didn't you release it before you were mad? That's my problem with Mad Day people. You just as guilty because you held on to to information that you knew could be pertinent either to a case, to a situation, or to an individual, but you held on to it. Baby, keep holding it. What you snitching for now? Some of y'all family and friends like that. They cool with you until they get mad. Now they want to get on social media for a click and a view and get the masses on their side and paint you out as enemy number one. Baby, please.
First off, pour one out for all of those Republican senators and members of Congress who were relying on Elon Musk's unlimited cash infusion to get them through their next election cycle. You can just imagine the way that their hearts must have dropped today watching Trump publicly attack Elon and knowing that this probably means that their gravy train has left the station. Granted, I'm sure there's some oil billionaire somewhere perfectly willing to write a check, but still, it was just easy with the richest person in the world, and now that's finished. But second, I do have to say that this fallout was pretty predictable. It was a marriage of convenience. Donald Trump needed Elon's money to win the campaign, and yes, I do believe he needed that money to win the campaign, and Elon needed Trump's power to get into the government and eliminate all of the agencies that regulate his businesses.
This is a smart young man. Smart. Couldn't have said it better myself. This was a relationship of convenience. They needed each other. Much like I said about Silas in Scandal with Fitz. See, that's who I told y'all should have voted for. Y'all should have voted for Fitzgerald Grant III. That's who you should have voted for. Because with Fitzgerald Grant III, you know came Olivia Pope. But I digress. This was a relationship of convenience. Trump couldn't do it without Elon, allegedly. Elon couldn't do it without Trump. He needed Trump in office to be able to push his agenda. Trump needed Elon by his side because he needed Elon's money to help fund the campaign to get him in office. But relationships built on conditions and stigmas do not last. Look at your relationship. If you was dating with someone who was basically constantly throwing out there to you what you had to do, when you had to do it, where, when, how, what time, what you needed to use, how you needed to look when you did it, how you needed to talk, what bill should be signed, which one shouldn't be, which one of your kids you could give money to and which one you can't, baby, the relationship is going to falter as well. There's no difference in this. Political relationships are just like regular relationships. They are. They're prone to destruction too when you don't have two people who are equally yoked, who think the same way, who want the same things, and who are going in the same direction. See, this is what we miss. It is. But this young man is smart. Let's continue.
But the reality is that a few things have shifted that dynamic. First off, Elon publicly opposed this budget bill, which Trump views as a slight against him. And if there's one thing that we know about Donald Trump and his tolerance, it's that he won't take a hit to his ego.
Didn't I just tell y'all this before, right? And the reason I'm stopping and pausing is because this is someone else's video. So for those of you YouTube warriors who act like you're confused and don't seem to know that on YouTube you have to pause when you're reacting to something so that you give commentary over it, so it doesn't look like you're just using someone's property on your channel. That's why we're pausing. But is this not what I just said to you guys? Is it not? Trump don't care about what y'all think. Yeah. How far did that protest, that march y'all did? How far did it get y'all? Did it make Trump change his mind on anything? Did it make him do anything different at all? No, because he doesn't care. Trump cares about Trump's agenda. And if you agree with Trump's agenda, then you're one of his aces in the hole. If you don't, you almost become public enemy number one. Trump don't want to be surrounded by anyone who doesn't agree with the Trump agenda. But see, y'all don't know that, right? Because y'all didn't watch the video on Project 2025. What's going on, Champagne Gang, FizzFam? Welcome back to another episode of FizzV Conversations on Champagne Secrets. And today we're diving into something that's causing quite a bit of a stir. And it's called Project 2025. So while we're so concerned about Krishan rocking her baby and all of these celebrities and their bullish, I wonder, are we really paying attention to what's going on around us? Do you know about Project 2025 and what it entails and how it will affect you if it is passed? If you don't, and you want to know what this is all about, go ahead and grab your favorite drink, scoot up for a second, and let's break down Project 2025 right now. So what is Project 25? Well, Project 25, also known as Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, is basically a big plan cooked up by the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is a conservative think tank, and they're gearing up for a Republican win in the 2024 presidential election. Their main goal? To reshape the U.S. federal government to align with conservative values. Yeah, It's a Trump thing. So who's behind it? The plan isn't just a random idea. It's closely linked to the Donald Trump administration and his 2024 campaign. The Heritage Foundation, along with many former Trump officials, put together this hefty document called the Mandate for Leadership. It's a 920-page playbook, and it's said to outline how they'd like to see things run if a Republican takes the White House. Basically Trump. So what are they aiming for? Well, one of their key ideas is to replace a lot of the current federal civil servants with people who share their conservative views. They also want to give the president a ton of power over the executive branch right from day one. So think of it as a total overhaul of how things are currently being done. Think of it also as a total deconstruction of the Constitution and putting it back together their way. Right. Y'all haven't been watching the little animated AI series that I've been doing on the playbook of power.
You ever heard the phrase, it's not a plan, it's a playbook? Well, with this playbook, every move is already in motion.
But what if I told you there's a strategy, a step-by-step guide already in place, not to serve the people, but to control the system that governs them? Welcome to the Playbook for Power, where Project 2025 isn't just a theory, it's a blueprint. And honey, the ink is still wet. So, sip slow, stay sharp, and hold your glass steady, because the truth we're about to uncork, it's bold, it's bubbly, and it's about to spill everywhere.
In 2025, former President Donald Trump did something that sent shockwaves through the very structure of the US government. He reinstated Schedule F. Sounds like just another bureaucratic move, right? Maybe a minor change, but make no mistake, this decision could have a profound impact on how our government works and who truly holds the power.
To understand Schedule F, let's take a step back. The US government employs millions of people. They're the scientists, economists, policy experts, and analysts who make sure that decisions are grounded in facts, data, and expertise. These workers keep things running, and they're meant to be nonpartisan. The goal is simple. These professionals should do their jobs without political interference, ensuring that government decisions are made based on the best available information, not who's in charge. But here's where it gets tricky. Under the civil service system, many government workers are protected. This means they can't just be fired because they don't agree with the president, a senator, or a political party. Their work is supposed to be independent and objective, but Schedule F changes all of that. Schedule F is a new designation for certain government workers, specifically those in policymaking and advisory roles. In other words, those who are shaping the direction of the country. And here's the kicker. Once these workers are reclassified under Schedule F, they lose their job protection.
Project 2025 in motion. You know, the same project that everybody was saying Trump ain't got nothing to do with that. Trump said he ain't got nothing to do with that. Trump said he didn't write it. He never said he doesn't agree with the stuff that's in it. And we know he agrees with the stuff that's in it because it's the very thing he's doing right now. Let's continue listening to this intelligent young man on this screen.
The easiest way to become a persona non grata in Trump world is to attack dear leader or in any way refuse to show gratitude. Elon is learning that in real time. Another point to consider is that Trump did need Elon's money during the campaign, but he doesn't need it now. He got what he needed out of Elon. He is in power, he's the president. And frankly, he's learned how to scam everyone, from his supporters to foreign heads of state, into giving him more money, as much as he needs. The guy's doubled his net worth in just a few months in office between his meme coin, his real estate deals, and just using the United States as leverage to get what he wants. Frankly, he doesn't really need Elon's money anymore. And if there's one more thing that we know about Trump, it's that he has no qualms about discarding you the moment you lose your usefulness.
Didn't we see that on the show? You're fired. You're fired. Ain't that how it goes? You're fired. Didn't we see that on the show? He don't care. Once we realize Trump cares about Trump and Trump is going to do what Trump feels is in the best interest of the United States based on his feelings, we're going to be so much better off, because then we'll be able to think clearly as to what our next moves and decisions should be. But as long as we're still thinking that Trump cares anything about what we think, who is the real problem? Who has the real issue? The person who believes in themselves, or the individuals that consistently expect a person who believes in themselves and their decisions to care anything about you and your thoughts?
Think about all of the people he's discarded to help himself. He fired Ronna McDaniel as RNC chair because she was the reason that Republicans were losing the elections and not Trump himself. That's what he told himself. He trashed his own former press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, writing, "I don't need any advice from Rhino Kayleigh McEnany on Fox. Just had a giant victory over a badly failing candidate, bird brain, and she's telling me I can do better. Save your advice."
Bird brain. Rhino, this is your sitting president who has no qualms whatsoever with calling individuals out of their name on the social of the media. And I guess that's why he created Truth Social, so that he can be able to say whatever he wants to say, because it is his social media network. But come on, y'all. Don't you think as the president there should be some kind of professionalism, and there's certain things that shouldn't be said or done, like calling people out of their names and berating them for the world to see? Isn't that a form of discrimination? But see, some of y'all don't care about that, because, baby, y'all discriminate every day. So y'all don't care. Y'all think it's cute. See, that's the problem. Y'all think it's cute. You're excited to finally have a president who speaks. He says the things that you want to say. That's why some of y'all like Trump, because he says what you really want to say, but he can say it because he's the president. And who gonna check me, boo?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Who gonna stop me? What y'all gonna do? Impeach me? Y'all done tried that. It didn't work. We gonna try it again? Then what? You gonna try to get me arrested? Oh, I took care of that before I got in office. Baby, I got the Supreme Court to give me total immunity for anything that I do while I'm in office. All I have to do is say it's in the benefit of national security. So who gonna stop him? It's the president y'all elected, child. But I want us to take a look at them discuss what is going on with this whole feud between Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk. So let's check it out.
Welcome back. Elon Musk taking aim at President Trump's big, beautiful bill. This is it faces a lot of opposition from Republicans in the Senate. Musk posting on X, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Well, the White House just responded a moment ago in the briefing. Take a listen.
The president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
All right, let's bring in Fox Business correspondent Jerry Willis, author of a brand new book out called Lincoln's Lady Spy Master. We're going to talk about it. And Fox Business anchor David Asman. David, we talked about this last week. Yeah. This is hardly like the first time that Trump and Musk have had a spat over policy. So it's unsurprising in that respect. What is surprising, I would argue, is like how openly he is showing his anger.
Well, I would argue that had Trump not spent 4 years already inside the swamp known as Washington, D.C., inside the Beltway, that he probably would have said the same thing about this bill, because a business person who's used to getting things done efficiently could only look at this bill and say it's the most inefficient piece of crap I've ever seen. I mean, it really is a horrible, horrible bill when you think of all that stuff that the politicians shove into it. At the same time, you have to think of what is worse for Republicans. And what would be worse for Republicans is if the tax cuts from 2017 time out and they end up with a tax increase on their watch, which would mean they would lose the midterms, and the Democrats would be totally in charge, or at the very least stop every single thing that Donald Trump wants to do. Ronald Reagan wrote something about deficits in 1984. He said, the problem is not the size of the deficit, it's the size of the government's claim on our economy. And the claim on the economy right now of the deficit is about 6% as a ratio of the deficit to GDP. President Reagan had a deficit about the same, about 6% of the GDP in 1983. By the time he left, after all his tax cuts kicked in, it went down to 3.1% of GDP. It was cut in half. Once you get those tax cuts coming in, the economy starts roaring and the government becomes less of a factor in our overall economy than the private sector. That's the key.
The romance is definitely over. President Trump and Elon Musk erupted into a nasty public feud today.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
The extraordinary squabble happened before the eyes of the world as the president was meeting with the Chancellor of Germany in the Oval Office. He claims Musk has turned against him because the big, beautiful bill removes the tax credits for buying electric cars like Teslas.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk was listening and he responded in real time, basically calling Trump a liar. False. This bill was never shown to me even once, he declared on social media as Trump bashed him. Such ingratitude. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. The president says Musk has a case of Trump derangement syndrome.
I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration, they leave, and they wake up in the morning, and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile.
You could see he looked visibly sad when talking about this fraying relationship with someone that he has viewed for so long now as a good friend of his.
The rift is reportedly so deep, Musk won't even take calls from the White House.
Members of Trump's team have reached out to Elon Musk. No response.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised.
So y'all listen, I want y'all to drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this whole Trump-Elon Musk feud that's been going on. Let me know in the comments if you saw this coming, if you expected a fallout, if you agree with the young man that we saw on the screen before who said this was basically inevitable. Inevitable. Because we have two conflicting opinions trying to work together. Drop in the comments and let me know what you think about this. Thank you so much for joining me in this FizzFeed conversation. Our opinions, their stories. Until next time, baby, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink. Till we meet again. Ta-ta.
FizzFeed Conversations. Our opinions, their stories.